to Rally Report 85. At this very moment, the cars are pulling into Carlisle after the long, hard pull today through Yorkshire and Northumberland. The great news tonight is that Tony Pond is still there in second place, and what's more, he's holding his own. Only 95 cars came to the start line this morning, so 60 have fallen by the wayside, and the field is now very spread out. There's over 30 minutes, for example, between the lead car and Russell Brooks at number 12, over 64 minutes between the lead car and Mark Lovell, the up-and-coming young British driver, at number 28. Of course, a lot of the top seeds have gone, but I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that Peter Goodwin, the Essex mechanic, is still there in his rebuilt Lada taxi. So the day dawned bright and clear and dry, and with 11 stages to run today, we pick up the cars at Clipston 2, Brian Jones.
Marco Allen reaches 130 miles an hour in the Clipstone Forest stage and is first to beat the target time. Tony Pond claims 132 miles an hour, even though the car is weaving on the special stages. Henry Toivonen in the second Lancia, trying desperately to close on Pond. The surviving Peugeot of Michael Sundstrom is the fourth competitor, quicker than this target time. The Quattro and Per Eklund still lying fifth. Kankkunen is fifth fastest on the stage and sixth on the rally in the Toyota Celica. Jimmy McRae's brakes are now okay, and he also has a new clutch, and he's still lying seventh. Terry Cabey claims an uneventful rally. The car's fine, but of course underpowered on these very fast stages. Rod Millen is loving it, and he's still lying in ninth place. Russell Brooks moves up from 12th to 11th on this Clipston stage. Glyn Jones from David in another Opel Manta 400. Pentti Ricola, he seems to have a flat tyre in the Astra GTE. Oliver's Mount. Marco Allen spins on this stage whilst flat in fifth, but he's okay. The MG Metro had a new differential fitted overnight, and Pond is certainly holding off Toivonen. Toivonen claims to have been held up behind Sundstrom at Oliver's Mount. At Scarborough, Sundstrom changed the centre differential. He's still fourth in the rally. Per Eklund in the Quattro. A classic example, this, of a four-wheel drive car being driven in a two-wheel drive manner. Jimmy McRae would desperately like four-wheel drive on these slippery power stages. The Nissan 240 RS of Terry Cabey is still lying in 8th place. Hard on the brakes comes Ingvar Carlsson in the Mazda RX-7. The Manta 400 of Russell Brooks has been very consistent since his off yesterday. Into the gloaming at Wycombe comes Marco Allen and his Lancia. This stage is 1.86 miles long, a short, hilly, twisty forest section. Allen's spin does not seem to have slowed him down. R4 of Tony Pond and co-driver Rob Arthur. They lie second overall and certainly seem to be gaining over Henry Toivonen. The battle by Henry Toivonen to bring the Lancia back up into second place is fascinating. He's trying everything. Since the restart of the rally, he has been fastest 3 times and second fastest twice. The Dolby stage, the first drama for Alain. He damages the car and loses 2 minutes to Pond. He went straight on into a fire break. New incentive now for Tony Pond in the Metro 6R4. They are only 74 seconds behind the leader. Per Eklund finishes this stage 3rd fastest. He's a strong 5th in the rally. There are enormous cheers for Pond as he re-emerges for the 2nd time on this stage. Henry Toivonen was fastest at Oliver's Mount, but here at Dolby is pipped by Marco Alain. The Toyota Celica is 4th fastest on this 25-mile stage, a fine performance. The British-built Peugeot, its 3rd fastest on Dolby, and still in 4th place, driven by Finnish driver Michael Sundström. And now, the competitors go deep into the night and to the horrors of the infamous Kielder.
Well, that was stage 33. The last stage before Carlisle, which is a short service halt, is Hampsterley Forest. 17.5 miles of rough and bumpy gravel, and very cold too, I bet. Now, Sue Baker's been there for the past hour, and hopefully at this very moment she's hanging onto a telephone. Let's hope her hands aren't too cold.
Here at the Hampsterley Forest stage in Durham, it's a bitterly cold night, and although the forecast snow hasn't materialised yet, the going is icy and treacherous. That's making life tough for the crews. Tony Pond has had some handling problems with his Metro 6R4, and at the stage before this one, he nose-dived into a deep hole and cracked his spoiler. It fair woke me up, he said. Another Briton in the top 10, Terry Cabey, is battling with steering problems on his Nissan 240. Per Eklund's Audi Quattro arrived here with a cracked windscreen, but he'll have to wait until Carlisle before his team can change it.
Well, in 3 short hours, the cars will roll out of Carlisle again and plunge for the very first time into Kielder Forest, often called Killer Kielder, of course, the rally car's graveyard, because so much of it's so boggy, and once you go off the track, they say you never get back on. As we've heard, the roads are very slippery, so it's going to be a very tough night for the cars. Leaderboard tonight, Tony Pond, despite that hole, 2 minutes behind Marco Alain, the lead Lancia. Henry Toivonen really breathing down his neck now with just 35 seconds behind. 4th place is Michael Sundström, the Flying Finn. First time in top-class machinery, so doing very well there in the British-built Peugeot. Per Eklund with that cracked windscreen in the private Audi. Notice Jimmy Cray, the breezy Scot, hanging on to his 7th place there in the Opel Manta 400. That's all for tonight. Time for a cup of cocoa, perhaps. See you tomorrow at the much earlier time of 7:25. Good night.